Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Hope I am audible to each of you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Fine. Nandini, yes, please. Okay. Shall we start now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. One more type of example. For a moment, we have seen some of the examples in which even number of years data was given to you and odd number of years data set was given to you. But in that case, always there was a difference of 1 year in each of the data set, right? An even number of or an odd number of years were given, and we know it quite well that what type of methodologies are to be used to get it solved. But there is one more thing which we have skipped, probably skipped in the sense we haven't taken care of, is for a moment let us suppose there is a gap. What it indicates, what do you mean by there is a gap? For a moment let us suppose there is an year for which data is not available. You think in that case we cannot get a trend line? We can. We can get a trend line, and in that case what methodologies are to be applied and what should be done? That is interesting. Let us have one of the example where there is a gap between year in the given data. Next example is exactly of the same. Below are given the figures of production of sugar factory. Sugar factory production data set is given to you. Year and a production. Just observe the year. It is 2001, 2003, 2004, 2005, 6, 7 and 8. First of all, in a routine course, you might be observing it like there are 7-year data set given to you. Okay, 7 is an odd number, so you will always feel like odd number. It is very nice, good, something like that. But what happens in this case? You just observe it minutely. You can observe that data set of 2002 is missing in this case. There is a gap. 1 year data is missing right now. Okay. What are the methodologies to be applied? That we'll see. But first of all, let me complete the question itself. The question is fit a straight line trend by method of least squares and also show the trend line on a graph paper. So here graph paper is needed, right? First of all, you have to get a using a method of least squares. We have to get all the trend values. We have to put it on a graph paper, and we have to take a graph accordingly. Second is eliminate the trend using additive models. So here again, that short-term fluctuation is to be calculated of y, yc, and the next last column should be y minus yc, something like that. Just put it in mind. What is the monthly increase in the production of sugar? Okay, the data set given is in a form of year, and what we want is a monthly increase in production of sugar. Dhwani, I am making you mute as it is your audio is disturbing the whole class. Okay, now let us do the next thing. I mean, what should be done? First thing first. First of all,
Put it in a column.
absolutely put all your data in a column format. In a column format, naturally, the first column would be year, the second column would be production. That's it. Okay. Since there is a gap, so here it would be a little difficult to get that summation of x as 0. If you don't get summation of x as 0, naturally you may not use the shortcut method of getting a and b. Naturally, here you have to get two linear equation, and then that two linear equation are to be solved off, as you have done some of the examples related to it. Here, deviation taken. You can take any one of the year from which you can take a deviation. If you just want to do it like this, just take it any one of the year from which a deviation is to be taken off, and make another column of x. X is here 2005 is taken as a deviation year, I suppose. So 2001 minus 2005, which is minus 4. 2003 minus 2005, which is minus 2. 2004 minus 2005, which is minus 1. 2005, which is 0, which is 1, 2, and 3. So this is how your column X is built. Deviation taken from 2005. That gives you a variable X. Fine enough. The total data set given to you are 7. So your value of N, capital N, is 7. If you make a sum of the column Y, which comes somewhere 633, if you make a sum of column X, it comes to minus of 1, because there is a gap of 1 year. Make another column of XY, means it is X multiplied by Y, which is very simple. 77 multiplied by minus 4, which is 308. 88 multiplied by minus 2, which is minus 176. 94 multiplied by minus 1 becomes minus 94, and so on. If you just get all the entities of this column, ultimately make a sum of that column, which is somewhere minus of 21. We do have a column named X, and we have to make another column of X square. So whatever entity in the column of X is there, make it square. That will give you a column of X square. And if you just make a sum of that column, which comes somewhere as 35. Are you getting these numbers?
Yes, sir.
Each of them?
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
Too fast. It's very nice. Once you get all these numbers with you, naturally, now you have to substitute all these values in a standard form of a straight line or a trend line. As all of us knows that the standard form of a straight line trend is y is a plus bx. Since here summation of x is not 0, you have to get two different equations. This equation can be found as simply by taking summation both the sides. If you just take summation both the sides, it comes summation of y, which is n times a plus b times summation of x. I am doing it just little with a speed, just because of we have already done this sort of example previously. The second equation is summation of xy, which is a times summation x plus b times summation of x squared. Now, you do have value of summation of y, value of n, summation of x, summation xy, summation x, and summation of x squared. If you just substitute all these values in this two linear equation, this two linear equation becomes equation of a and b. As 633, which is 7 times a minus b, and another equation is minus 21 is minus a plus 31 times b. I assume that all of you know how to get two linear equation solve. If you just make a simplification of that, and you will get value of B. While substituting this value in any one of these two equations, you will get value of A. Try to get value of A and B, and let me know once you get it value of A as well as B. Can I assume that you know how to get two linear equations solved?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, great. If you just make a simplification, you will get value of B as 486 by 244, which is somewhere 1.991, somewhere approximately 2. And since the data set given to you and we haven't altered anything by 0.5 or something like that, so naturally this increment is year-wise increment, right enough? Okay, what is the value of A now?
$91.
90.71.
Okay, let's see. Absolutely correct, 90.71. And you can put it as 91 even. But 90.71, at least one should take the precision of 2 digit at least after the point. So the equation of a straight line becomes, y is equal to 90.71 plus 2 times x. And in this case, our origin means from which you have taken a deviation. There is a mistake in here. It is not 1984, it is 2005. So your origin is 2005. Now you just observe your table now. In that column, just make another column of YC. YC is equal to 90.71 plus 2 times X. That you have to write it as a title of that column. Once you put this title of the column, now you have to place the values of each of the cell accordingly. For 2001, your value of X is -4. So in the equations, in a straight line trend equation, just substitute value of X as -4. So y is equal to 90.71 plus 2 times minus of 4. Just make it simplified. You will get 82.71. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. Similarly, for the second point, it is 2003. So your value of X is -2. Simplifying it, you may get the respective value. And you may get all the values. Just get it done and verify it. It is on the screen. Are you getting the same values or not? Let me know once you complete it.
Yes, sir. We are getting.
Men
Yes,
stop.
sir.
Very nice. Yes, please. Who is there? Yes, Shanvi.
સર ઇક્વેશન નંબર 1 માં આપણે b ની વેલ્યુ મૂકીએ ને ત્યારે 91 આવે છે a ની વેલ્યુ
1.991 મૂકીને try કરી લો. It is
હા
90.7.
નહીં અપ્રોક્સ 2 લઈએ ને
Actually,
તો
instead of taking an approximation, why don't you take it as 1.9991 and then after make it simplified, you will. In short, look here, these examples are given to show you a methodology, right? In any case, whatever value comes of b, you just substitute it in a equation a equation, then by making it simplified, you will get the value. It is that simple, right? 235 divided by 7, so naturally it is in a corresponding. Instead of putting 2, just put 1.9991, which is the actual value of p. Whenever you take approximation of something and that approximation is being substituted in an equation to get another value, so your error get multiplies. And that is the reason why you are getting, instead of 90.71, you are getting 91, because an errorless value of b, you are substituting it. And the first error which you are doing is an erroneous value of b you are substituting. On the basis of that, you are getting value of a, which is naturally going to be an erroneous value. I mean, a value which has some error component. That is the reason you are multiplying your errors. So instead of taking an approximation of 2 for 1.9991, let it remain as it is. And nowadays it is a era of computer. So earlier there was difficult. Earlier calculations were much more time consuming. Nowadays these calculators are and computers are making it more simpler. So you can take at least a precision of 2 to 3 digits after the point. I think all of you are getting all these values, right? Okay. So write down all these values in a column, right? Okay. Then the question was to put it on a graph paper. Again, all of you knows how to put it on a graph paper. Just take a graph. Your x-axis is always year and y is production. The smallest value in the year is 2001. The largest value is 2008. So on an x-axis, 2001 to 2008 should be there. The lowest value on a y-axis is 75 and the largest is 100. First of all, just take all the points which are actual, means y is given to you. Once you plot, once you place all these points, try to connect it with a free hand. Connect those dots. And this connected line is called actual trend line, or you can say it is an actual data. Things are same. Actually, it is a line, so you can say, but it is in a different shape. So instead of using a word line, let it be actual data. Now, the trend values which you have calculated, the trend values means YC, column of YC with respect to X. Put all these points on a graph paper and connect it. When you connect all this dot, you will get line. And that line is called a trend line. Are you getting this sort of graph?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Honestly, how many of you are actually drawing this graph right now? Dikshita, Janvi, Priti, Vijayata, Dikshita, Hemangi, Rishita, Dharmishta, Bhumika, Archana, Rukshad, Miral. Fine enough. What others are doing then? There are 13 to 14 people who are doing calculations and graph simultaneously. What others are doing? Can anyone explain? Fine enough, we don't want to be inside that. Come on, wake up. This was a graph, right? Okay, what was the next thing to be found of? Let's see. Another column is required, which is called elimination of, or you can say short-term fluctuation. Elimination of trend and short-term fluctuation things are same. Add one more column in your example itself as y minus yc. You do have a column of y, you do have a column of yc. Just make a deduction of those two. Difference of those two columns, you may get short-term fluctuation. This short-term fluctuation is nothing but elimination of a trend. After eliminating the trend, cyclic and irregular components are left over. Since the seasonal variation will be absent as the data given is annual. Okay, one more thing they were asked about was annual increase in the production of sugar. Annual increase in the production of sugar, which is B. Value of B is approximately 2. That is what we say. But the measurement of unit was 1000 quintals. So naturally, value of B would be 2000 quintals. So it is 2000 quintals. That data set is an annual increase. If you just want to get a monthly increase, you have to divide it with 12. So this 2000 divided by 12 will give you 166.67 quintals, and that is the monthly increase in the production of sugar. Generally, this is not in your syllabus as I said it earlier even, but with the same, it is that simple, and you should know it what exactly and how it is handled, right? That is why we have done it. Let us shift to the new example. Now, almost all type of, or you can say all methods are incorporated. So till now, what we were working on was different methods, and our focus was on the conceptual part. Now, instead of focusing, instead of focusing on conceptual part, our intention is to focus on speed. Now try to focus on speed. We want everything to be done as fast as we can. Now methods are very clear. Which method is to be used, when to use, what is to be done, that part is absolutely clear. So instead of wasting much of your time anywhere else, just try to focus on a speed. Let us do it right now, and let us try to do it as soon as we can. Right? These are the practice examples now. Below are the given the annual production in 1,000 tons of a fertilizer factory. Data set given to you 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Total number of year data set given 7. So N is 7. 7 is an odd number. Just keep it in mind. Production 70, 75, 90 and so on. First thing is to be done. Put it in a column format. Year column, second is production column. While you make year, as you know that 7-year data set is given, your value of N is 7. Just make a sum of production column. Production column is Y, so that becomes summation of Y, which is 619. Since odd number of years are given, you will have a middle point there. Middle point, which one would be the middle point?
2010.
2010. You have to take a deviation from 2010. 2007 minus 2010, which is minus 3, and so on. Since the difference is of 1, it would be minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. If you just make a sum of that column, you will get summation of x as 0. Now, the another column, x multiplied by y. Come on, make it faster. Value of x minus 3, y 70. 70 multiplied by minus 3, 210 with a negative sign. 75 multiplied by minus 2, minus 150. 90 multiplied by minus 1, which is minus 90. 91 multiplied by 0 goes to 0. And so on. Put all the quantities in column xy. Make a sum of that column.
141.
141 is the sum of that column. Now x square. Column x is given to you. Make a square. Make square each of the quantity. Minus 3 square 9. Minus 2 square 4. Minus 1 square 1. 0 square 0. 1. That is 1. 2 square 4. 3 square 9. Naturally 9 plus 1 plus 4. 14. 14 plus 14 becomes 28. It is that simple.
28.
Now you do have all the values with you. Yes, perfectly okay. It is 28. Now you have all the values. As we have done, we have tried to make summation of x as 0. You can get direct value of a and b. Let us suppose the straight line trend is given by y is equal to a plus bx. Since we are getting summation of x as 0, so value of a is summation of y upon n. Summation of y is 619 divided by 7, which is 88.43. And value of b is summation of xy upon summation of x square. So it is 141 divided by 28, which is somewhere 5.04. Now, calculation of trend values for each of the year. So make a column. Once again a column. Make a title of that column as YC, where YC is 88.43 plus 5.04x. Here again there is a mistake. Origin is not 1980, it is 2010. Origin is 2010. Now calculation of trend values. just substitute different values of corresponding value of x and get value of y, and that becomes yc. All these YCs are calculated for 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 and 13. Are you getting the same values? Just check it off.
Yes, sir.
Good. All of you are getting these values? Once you complete it, let me know.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good enough. Fine. Hopefully, let me assume that all of you are getting all these values right now. For 2007, it is 73.31 and so on. The last is 103.55. Okay. This was the only thing. They haven't asked anything else. So, in any case, if you just make an addition in this example, if they may ask you to get that short-term fluctuation, or they can use the word eliminate the trend, then you may have one more column. You have to take one more column, and that column is, you can say, short-term fluctuation, y minus yc, and you will be able to calculate it. As you have both the column y and yc, make a difference of those two columns, you will get that eliminated trend, or you can say short-term fluctuation. Right? I think you know it, how to do it. This example can be extended even, like they may ask you to have a graph. So again, the same thing is to be done as you did it in the last example. All these things can be added in this case, but you don't have to
Yes,
worry
sir.
much about. You don't have to worry much about it, because you already did this sort of examples many a times. So be confident and face it. That will give you more confidence. Next example. I think we took more than 3 minutes to solve this example. Let us try. Let us try to solve next example in less than 3 minutes. Now our target is 2 minutes. Are we ready?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Example. Fit a straight line trend by the method of least square for the following data: 2000, 2001, 2002, 3, 4, 5. Total number of years which we have are 6. Come on, your time starts now. It is 9.34. I want answer before 9.36. And I am not going to help you out in this case. The numbers are on your screen right now just because of you can verify it with your answers. Number of n is 6. 6 is an even number. Since it is an even number, you have to take a middle year. Middle year is, what should be the middle year?
2002 and 2003.
2002 and 2003. So you have to take a midpoint of 2002 and 3, which is 2002.5. Is it perfect? Okay. If you just take a deviation from 2002.5, so 2000 minus 2002.5 gives you minus 2.5, right? And if the points are there, we generally use a criteria of multiplying it with 2, and that is why here we have multiplied minus 2.5 by 2, so it is minus 5. Similarly, it is minus 3, minus 1, 1, 3, 5. Ultimately, what we will get would be summation of x as 0. Fine enough. The next column xy, next column x squared. If you just make a sum of the column xy and x squared, summation of xy is 336 and summation of x squared is 70.
Yes, sir. Done.
Perfectly okay. Fine, Janvi, you can proceed, get the trend line and on. Those who have calculated it and getting these values, they can proceed and get the trend line. The standard form of an equation of a straight line trend is y is a plus bx. Summation of x is 0. So value of a, you can calculate it directly as mean of
36
36. Perfectly okay.
and for B 4.8.
V is 4.8. Since we have taken origin as, what was the origin?
2002 and 2003. So
2005, right?
2002.
Perfect. So it is half yearly, right? So your unit X unit is half year. So you can say that B gives you half yearly increment, which is 4.8. So your value of line, or you can say Y, is 36 plus 4.8 times X. Okay. Now you have received a equation. You can make a column YC, which is 36 plus 4 point times X. Just substitute different values of X in that case, and you can get the value, the trend values. Make a substitution, different values of X, which is minus 3, minus 5, minus 3, minus 1, 1, 3, and 5, and you can get a corresponding year's trend value. You'll be able to do it?
Yes, sir.
Fine enough. Shall we shift to the next example?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The next example. In this example, I want you to do it in a less than 2 minutes. Means now our timing is, the goal is to get this example solved in less than 1.5 minutes. Prepared? Are all of you prepared for getting it solved within 1.5 minutes?
Yes, sir. We can try.
Fine enough. Your time starts now. Come on. Year and cells. Make two different columns. 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9. Total number of year 5. 5 means always you will have one entity as a middle year. So that would be benefited, right? Year, second column is cells. Hardly 5 elements are there. You can make it as soon as you can. Your value of n is 5. Cells, summation of y, which is 300. If you make a sum of each of the entity. Get value of x. Deviation should be taken from 2007, which is the middle year. Fine enough. Minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2. So summation of x goes to 0. xy. 45 multiplied by minus 2 minus 90, 56 multiplied by minus 1 minus 56, 78 multiplied by 0 which is 0, 46 multiplied by 1 46, 75 multiplied by 2 which is 150. If you make a sum of that column, which you will get as summation of xy as 50. Fine enough. X squared. All the entities are there in a column of x. Just make it square. You will get x squared. Now all the
A
things
is equal to 60 and B is equal to 5.
A is 60 and B is equal to 5.
Yes, sir.
Perfectly okay. Now they ask for estimation of 2010.
$75 lakh.
Yes, sir.
75.
75 lakh.
Absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect. What time you took to get it solved? What time you took to get it solved?
Approximately 2.5 minutes.
Again, try to focus on less than 2 minutes. Means 1.5 minutes should be the target. Go on practicing it, and it is not that difficult to do it. You'll be able to do it for sure. When you started it at that time, you were taking more than 4 minutes to get example solved. Now you have reached somewhere around 2 minutes. If you just focus more on it, or if you just practice more, then you will be able to do it with less than 1.5 minutes. And that is our target, right? Let's have one more. Come on, fit a straight line trend by the method of least square to the following data of the firm. Also find the estimated value for the firm for the year 2017. Come on, your time starts now.
Sir, here you have made two columns like deviation from x and then multiplying by 2. We can do it in one only.
Absolutely, you can do it. We did it in the last example. I have shown it that
Yes.
instead of taking two different columns, you can take it directly. But you should know it that what that column is. You should be clear enough. Back all the things are same. Fine. Come on, come on, come on. Make it fast. Number of years, 6. Naturally, there would be two different middle points in this case, 2012 and 13. 12 and 13 means that 2012.5 would be the deviation taken from. Naturally, all this deviation will be in a fractional part, 2.5, 1.5, something like that, 0.5. To make it a full value, you have to multiply it with 2. Just multiply it with 2, it comes to minus 5, minus 3, minus 1, 1, 3, 5. Make a column xy, make another column x square. Fine enough.
$34 and 2.8.
34 and 2.8 value of A and B and A, is it? A and B rather, sorry. Okay, let us check. Your value of A is 34 and value of B is 2.8, and since the deviation was taken from 2012.5, so it was somewhere half yearly, so value which you are getting of B is a half yearly increment. So you have to write an equation y is equal to 34 plus 2.8 times x, where your origin is 2012.5 and your x unit is half year because 2012.5 is there. Okay, now make another column, and that column will be titled as YC. YC is 34 plus 2.8 times x. Substitute different values of x and get value of YC, means each of the unit for each of the corresponding year. Are you getting the same amounts?
Yes, sir.
That's great.
Yes,
20, 25.6, 31.2, 36.8, 42.4 and 48. For this example, time taken was less than 2 minutes. This example, you took less than 2 minutes. So this is how you have to focus on your time taken and try to reduce it as much as you can. All of you have completed it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Shall we shift on the next one?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Estimate the value for 2017. That was the asked question. For 2017, your value is 2000. Division was taken from 2012.5. Since you have doubled your x, so your value of x for 2017 becomes 9, and your value of y for 2017 comes to 34 plus 2.8 multiplied by 9, which comes to 59.2 crore. And that gives you the estimated value for 2017. Right? Next example. Fit a straight line trend to the following data by the method of least square after summing the quarterly data to yearly data. Look, in this case, only one technique is used, and anyone can understand it. What is the technique? The data set given to you are in a form of quarters, first, second, third, and fourth quarter. Ultimately, our intention is, and that itself it is given that you have to make a sum of this quarterly data to get an yearly data. So there is not a rocket science. The first column is year, the second column is nothing but for 2010 you have to make an yearly data. First, second, third and fourth quarters are being summed up. So 10 plus 13 plus 14 plus 12, which is 49.
49.
49. So that you have to write it as a yearly data. 49. Similarly, for 2011, 12 plus 14 plus 15 plus 13.
54.
54, that you have to write it against 2011. Similarly, all of the values are to be written off, so you will get two columns. Now things are very simple for you again. It is as same as of any of the previous example. Just proceed it.
A is 63.
A is 63. Is it so? Yeah, A is
B
63
B is 8.
and B
B
is
is 8.
8. Okay.
Forty-seven, 55, 63, 71, and 79.
Perfectly fine.
Yes, sir. Completed.
Now have another column of y minus yc, which is elimination of trend, or you can say
Additive model.
short-term fluctuations, right? Okay. Short-term fluctuation plus 2 minus 1 minus 3 plus 1 plus 1 something. Are all of you getting all this thing perfectly?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine enough. Are we ready for the next example?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine enough. The next is fit a straight line trend by the method of least square and estimate the value for 2001. 51, 61, 71, 81 and 91. Fine enough. That doesn't make much difference to you. Difference is of 10 years. It's absolutely fine with us. Right? Okay. Come on, make it as soon as you can. This can be done within a minute. Within a minute. Number of year data set given to you are 5. Naturally, you have a middle year. Middle year is 1971. It's absolutely fine.
A is 62.2 and B 1.27.
A is
Yes, sir.
62.2 and B is 1.27. Origin is 1971. Estimation for 2001, that was the question. You have to get value for 2001. For 2001, what would be the value of X?
30.
2001
30.
minus 1971, so X becomes 30. Just substitute value of X as 30 in the equation, you will get value 100.3, and the values are in form of crore, so it is 100.3 crore. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
All of you are getting these values, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Here
sir.
they ask for estimation for 2001 only. So we haven't calculated all the values. Here, what can be an addition? They can ask you to have all the trend values. So at that time, you have to substitute all the values in. You may have a column. The respective X are to be substituted, and then you can get a column of YC. They can extend the question as they may ask you to eliminate the trend or to get a short-term fluctuation. In that case, again, you have to add one more column, and that column would be Y minus YC. I think you know it, how to do it. They may extend it with drawing a graph. That even you know it, that first thing is to be done is put the original data set with, and connect those dots with a freehand. On the same graph paper, whatever the value, instead of taking value Y on a graph paper, just take YC, you will get some points on a graph paper. If you connect those points, you will get a line, and that will be treated as a trend line. Right? These are the only possibilities which you have with this sort of examples. I think we are nearly ending. We are short with time now. I would like to ask you, is there any question within this topic?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Fine enough. Then I'll take your leave now. Thank you. Thank you for your time.
Excuse me, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, if you don't mind, please share your presentation PDF.
I think I have shared the PDF file.
Yes, sir.
I have already done it till the last lecture, I suppose. It
Yes,
was
sir.
not in the form of a presentation, that was a different story, but all the things which I have made material, that I have shared it with you, from which this PPT is being made.
Okay, sir.
Do you want this presentation file?
Yes.
Fine enough, I'll be sharing it with you. I'll not share those material now. It's absolutely
Okay.
fine.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.